Hi, I'm Jason Gordon for ThatShelf.com, and we're here to look at Bob Dylan Through the Open Window, the bootleg series, Volume 18, 1956 to 1963.
Eighteenth.
Volume 18 of the Bob Dylan set. I've showcased a few of these on the channel before. We're just going to do sort of a quick unboxing of this, show what's inside. But as it says here on the top, the definitive document of Bob Dylan's formative years, 1956 and 1963, 42 rare and previously unreleased performances, home recordings, studio outtakes, coffeehouse and nightclub shows, all from brand new tape sources, and a 24-page booklet with liner notes by Sean Willenance and rare photographs, all included here on this set. Traditionally, I have been buying the crazy CD version and the vinyl. This time I only bought the vinyl. We'll see how long that lasts, but that's how it actually has played out. I did have the insane, I guess it was the bootleg 12 set. I actually did end up selling that one. I found somebody who wanted to pay a preposterous amount. That was the entirety of his 1965 stuff. I have that on digital, so I didn't necessarily need it on CDs. And I think I'm finding, especially for this Dylan stuff, I love what they've done with this bootleg series. It's just been unbelievable. But I don't necessarily need every single track on CD. I rarely actually listen to CDs that way. If I really want to dive deep, I have access to it on streaming or whatever. But if I just want to sit down and listen to the period, the vinyl is the way that I go. And they've done a pretty decent job of having the highlights, not dissimilar to what they did with the Joni stuff. The Joni stuff I'd almost like. I think her stuff, especially as it goes later in the period, I would love all the stuff that's on CD on disc, on vinyl rather. But I think for this, it's sufficient. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself. So still not cheap. Anyway, let's crack it open and see what's inside. So this is the box with the sticker that I read from. We'll just sort of crack it open. On the back, before we do that actually, shows all the track listings here. So you can see everything from Let the Good Times Roll all the way to When the Ship Comes In, the Carnegie Hall show here. Times Are Changing, alternate takes. Basically, this is like leading from his earliest days right through to his first recordings. Now, what's interesting about this, of course, is that when he sort of has put together this bootleg series, bootleg 1 through 3, incorporated some of these elements. We've sort of been going back and forth. It's not like they've gone chronologically in the archive series. It's like pulling this and pulling that. And so this one very much is focusing on a bunch of stuff, many of them tapes newly discovered that just were in people's collections. Anyway, let's open this up. Try to do this carefully. And keep it, and it's one of these cases that sort of slides out from the main box instead of being like a clamshell. Trying to do this without cutting the records, of course, while keeping the outer plastic on like a crazy person. I always call myself crazy when I do this, but I think any of you who are actually sitting here watching me do this might suffer from my shared kind of insanity. Let me know in the comments if you're also a fellow addict about this sort of stuff. Anyway, let's pull the records out here. So, right from the front, we have here, boom, looks like a familiar photo, or at least familiar-ish photo. There we are without any of the other elements. Yeah, it looks like Llewyn Davis. And the inside, yeah, producer's note. The people who actually put it at Steve Berkowitz, obviously involved. All the different elements here. Really beautiful what they've done with this stuff. And as much as the CD sets are more definitive, something about having the 12 by 12, which is really quite excellent. It's stunning. Look how pretty it was. This beautiful, beautiful images of him at the coffee house, the bitter end, and of course in Columbia Studios recording the first record. Stunning, stunning images. Him in the studio, him with a band. A band, not the band. There we go. Look at that. Such a definitive thing of him at the festival. All the stuff at Town Hall, etc. Him with Joan, him with Susie Rotolo, etc. And then a breakdown of all the tracks here. Just extraordinary. And then full credits. And on the back, what a beautiful, beautiful image of that. So yeah, so that's the first thing. And then each of these comes in a picture sleeve. Annoyingly, oh, that's interesting. So it's an outer picture sleeve and an inner paper sleeve. So this is, we're sort of backwards here. So why don't we start it off in order? This is the first record, so you see how this is done. So this is side A. Side B, this is the imagery here. And inside, so it's paper sleeves inside. I would love if these were poly-lined. Unfortunately not, but they are quite stunning looking. The replication of the Columbia Vivatonal recordings. Amazing. And the records themselves, unsurprisingly, also look, that's such a gorgeous layout. This sort of faded gold. Really tremendous. So that's the first record. Sort of do this here, make a little bit of room. This would be, I believe, side C and D, yeah. So again, stunning imagery. Talking New York, Karina, I heard that Lonesome Whistle, Rocks and Gravel, Let Me Die in My Footsteps. It's great stuff here. Just absolutely stunning. This is all stuff from the Gaslight, stuff at Gertie's Folk City, etc. And then the record itself. This one on the red Columbia, different paper inner. The record itself. Again, despite being on paper, it looks pretty clean. We'll sort of put this on this pile here. All of this is going to go through the record cleaner anyway. This is the third one. Side E and F. Again, a preposterously young Bobby. Mr. Zimmerman. And there we are. For best playing results, check the media before playing. Ensure the needle is clean and free of dust or debris. Ensuring the needle is clean and free of dust or debris is crucial for optimal playback and record longevity. I mean, that's good thing. Here we are, him doing Has the Rising Sun, the informal recording in New York City, 1963. Yeah, wild. So that with this sort of gray, bluish gray, and then more tan on the inside label. Just stunning graphic design. So very much in keeping with the original era. Beautiful. And then here we are. The last of the record. Again, beautiful picture sleeve, incredibly well put together. This is all the Carnegie Hall stuff, all on the one record. Practice. Again, a more sort of bluish gray with a burgundy in the middle. Bootleg Volume 18. Stunning. So that's our look at the sort of unboxing of Through the Open Window. I'm really looking forward to actually diving into these recordings. I'm so enthralled, ecstatic about what they've done with this bootleg series. It's just such an amazing contribution to music history, to celebrating this incredible Titanic talent. I'll do a future video of sort of going through all the earlier ones for those interested in just like seeing them all sort of in their totality. But just incredible that we're up to volume 18. There's still hints at a couple that may be sort of coming down the pike, but we're certainly coming to the end of this sort of thing. And really, when we talk about like the end of an era, this is like end of the exploration of this particular artist. This really is the sort of, this feels like the sort of culmination of what this kind of physical media can actually produce. So this just kind of stuff, like the people are actually, there's a decreasing number of people that actually will fully celebrate this in its physical media form, rightly or wrongly. just is a fact. But let me just say, I am so grateful to be around when this kind of stuff is given this kind of treatment, this kind of care. Just yeah, and you can argue all the time about what's included and what's not included, etc. But it's so clear that at this point in time, this is not simply, yes, it's a maximization of profit from a record label in Sony that is getting the most out of their Bob Dylan catalog. I get it. It's keeping this Bob Dylan story alive in ways similar to what the movie did. I get it. We can be as cynical as you want. But the fact of the matter is that these are not just like run-of-the-mill archival releases. These are incredibly well done, incredibly well produced and assembled and done with fantastic sympathy to the historical importance of this. And really in the same way that as a kid I always dreamed of having, I don't know, a set of encyclopedias, because I thought that would mean something. Like to actually have this knowledge, to be able to sort of have it with a certain level of tacticity, tactileness, whatever. That's how I feel about the Dylan set. I haven't listened to them nearly as much as I should, but I know at any time I can do it, and that actually means something to me, as ridiculous as it is. And I think that a sort of project of sort of going through 1 through 18 will be something that I definitely should explore in the near future. But for right now, I got these guys to listen to. For thatshelf.com, I'm Jason Gorba. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, follow us on social media, click the bell, do all that stuff. But more importantly, it would be great if you actually let me know in the comments what you think about this particular release. I love to engage in that conversation. It really helps the channel out, but more importantly, I love interacting with those of you who are actually taking the time to actually watch my silly videos here on YouTube. So it means a lot. Thank you so much, and we will see you next video. All the best. Take care.